Happy Doom 30th, you viscera-fueled sewer rats. Have you ever heard the one about the cyber demon in the hallway? You will. To celebrate the occasion, I would play the newly released Sigil 2, but I figured, hey, I might as well look at Sigil 1 first. The unofficial, but also kind of official 5th episode of Doom, yeah, the original from 1993, made literally 9,303 days later, or if you were rich and could afford to pay money for it, 9,294 days, lucky you. I hope you enjoyed your Buckethead soundtrack, Mr. Moneybags. Us peasants only got to play the MIDI soundtrack from Jimmy Paddock. Am I crazy for preferring the MIDI version, or am I just about to commit crimes in the name of class disparity just for some MIDIs? Alright, for the most part, that's a joke. You could buy the version of Sigil that comes with the Buckethead soundtrack if you paid 6.66 euros, because of course you could. But from what I could tell, all the music that was made for Sigil does get recognized by the YouTube copyright system, and I'm not gonna risk that. Have you ever used copyrighted music on YouTube? I have, and it's usually just for a one-off gag, not the entire game. And don't give me any of that, oh, Trav, Civvy played it for some time in his video. Yeah, he's in a correctional facility with nuclear rats for a reason. But Jimmy's soundtrack gives us exactly what I want from a Doom 1 inspired soundtrack. Some heavy MIDI jams that sound like they belong in Mega Man X for the Super Nintendo. A game that I've been told that I would really like. I wouldn't know. I've never heard of it. The Buckethead OST is still pretty good, don't get me wrong. I just want to boogie to the beat and fence it for a bit. If you want to know any parts from this soundtrack that I really liked, look for the track Romero One Mind Any Weapon and skip to around 4 minutes 32 seconds. This is assuming you like the sound it makes when you use a guitar as a belt sander against your face, and I used to like black metal. Still do. I'll wrap up my thought on the soundtrack by saying that the Buckethead album for Sigil is really good background music for doing your own thing, like studying, reading, or while you have time to check out today's sponsor, Star Trek Fleet Command. Remember that feeling of looking up at the scars and thinking, dang, the Tau Ceti system sure is the coolest thing we've ever discovered. It's been a long time getting from there to here, and the folks over at Star Trek Fleet Command are here to bring that feeling of exploring new worlds and seeking out new life to your desktop or mobile phones. Or both if you're one of them crossplay nerds. Take part in epic battles with players from around the world using a myriad of iconic Star Trek characters and tech, from Captain Kirk to taking command of the Enterprise in this free-to-play open-world MMO, spanning from the Alpha and Gamma quadrants with your friends in this brand new Star Trek story. Open galaxy? Space. Players today can take on the game mode Wave Defense with their friends, and for any brand new players joining the game today, only new players, follow my QR code on screen and use promo code WARPSPEED to get 10 epic shards of Kirk. All you have to do is download Star Trek Fleet Command from my link in the description, sign up for your Scopely account by going to Profile Settings and General, use the code to sign in to StarTrekFleetCommand.com, and use promo code WARPSPEED to redeem your Kirk shards. So I'll see you going where no man has boldly gone before, and hey, thanks for sponsoring this video, Star Trek. I loved your show growing up. Maybe I shouldn't have done this with a red shirt. So while I was working on my video for Plutonia, I had a thought. What if I played through this infamously brutal Doom 2 expansion without any mid-level saves? That ended up being a pretty good idea, as now I have a lot more to say about the deliberate design choices that these levels made that we would otherwise just excuse as being dickish. But this also came with the unintended side effect of it taking really long. Starting these levels over and over from the beginning if I die makes these levels take a really long time, and there's no way I could have gotten that done before Christmas. But also, my house flooded, and also I caught COVID for the first time. Or rather, my girlfriend did, and I isolated with her, keeping me from working for a couple weeks. What can I say? My immune system's a hoe. Point is, time wasn't on my side, and if I wanted to keep doing Doom content back to back like I wanted to, I needed an out. I needed an easy win, and I'm not ready to turn into a mod YouTuber and join the Brutal Doom Project Brutality sweatshop. Luckily, some guy in Ireland with cool hair had my back with the perfect compromise, the aforementioned Sigil 2. It's technically a community mod, but it was made by one of the creators of the original game, available day one as an add-on that you can download directly from Doom's modern console release. Does this mean I'll be giving full reviews to other add-ons like Doom 0 and BTSX? No, Sigil 1 and 2 are the exception. And just so you know, a lot of the behind the scenes that I found for Sigil and its production came from an interview with Romero from 2020 from someone named David Craddock. I was already gonna tell you this, but there's a lot of pressure on me to cite my sources anyway so that my friend Harris doesn't come and kill me slowly with the crowbar from the hit PC game of the year, Deus Ex. A lot of it boils down to this, right? Romero picked up classic Doom modding back in 2017 as a fun little hobby to do in his little Ireland home, then he wanted to make something for Doom's 25th anniversary. And since he only got to work on maps for episode 1 of the original game and didn't make any of the hell levels, he had a chance to really make things up to people who always wanted to see what Romero could have done with Doom's hell, and who also happened to never play Doom 2. Which is totally fine if it's your first time going into Sigil. Romero wanted to make a follow-up to the original Doom that captures that 1993 essence, something he already kinda did back in 1995 when he contributed a couple of levels to Doom's episode 4, made after the release of Doom 2. With the exception of a new skybox texture and one new wall texture marking the end of each level, everything else is using assets and textures only found in Doom 1. That means no super shotgun, no Archies, no Revenants, and most importantly, no city levels. Rest easy, Doomers, John's done you a favor. That new exit texture though is pretty interesting. This is actually a painting by English artist Christopher Lovell, a piece made beforehand that Romero bought the rights to distribute. According to him, this embodied everything that Romero wanted his vision of Doom's 5th episode to encapsulate. Careful and more meticulous satanic imagery, more than just mutilated corpses and pentagrams. But it was missing one thing. This led to the creation of the Sigil logo, which was placed right on Baphomet's forehead, which I now realize in retrospect is just 3 6s arranged in like a little triangle shape. That does ruin some of the magic, not gonna lie. It is my own personal headcanon that this Sigil series is being used as a way to explain how the icon of sin got that big hole in its head. I mean, the Sigil logo is right where the hole to its brain was in Doom 2, and in those early versions of Doom 2 and Final Doom, he was called Baphomet. I doubt that's actually the case, but Baphomet is the big bad here according to Romero, being the one to trap Doom Guy in hell after rigging the teleporter at the end of episode 4 with the game's namesake, a sigil. Which makes me want to ask, did anyone else from my age group first learn the word sigil from Warframe? I played way too much of that game so many years ago, and I may have gotten back into it for the sake of a future video that I'm putting together. TBD, I've got like 50 new quests to play. What the fuck is a Duviri protocol? Also, you can buy this Sigil artwork from the original artist's website. I'm not sponsored to say this, I'm contractually obligated not to have another sponsor on this video. I just like to support artists as much as I can, because unless your clientele is suspiciously wealthy furries, life as an artist is hard. Just like Sigil. Romero said in that interview that he wanted to make sure that the pressure is always on, and that Sigil had to be hard even for him, which is the kind of stuff that I want to hear. I've beaten Sigil before, even once on stream on Ultraviolence, and I could confidently say that it is definitely up there with the likes of Plutonia when it comes to deliberately dickish level design. It expertly uses every card in its hand to fuck over the player, and it's great, all without using archviles or chain gunners. And I know, that's not as impressive as saying someone who is a modder that didn't work on the original game making a game like this, but the fact that it's still so consistent all these many years later is fascinating. The level geometry and scripting is just beautiful, using a ton of otherwise cosmetic textures to breathe new life into them. Sigil is already impressive at a glance, but seeing it in movement really helps sell it. It's a really small piece, but an example of this that literally had my jaw drop when I noticed it is this torch in E5N4, lighting up these really small sectors of the map to flicker lights to really create the randomness that you would see from a flame. It reminds me a lot of this room from Doom 1's E1M2, using specific sectors to light up the areas in a way that would make the light coming out of it feel like how it actually would light up the area. This also happened to be a Romero map, so it works well as this tiny little microcosm to really show how far he's come with map editing. I know, I really shouldn't be this impressed by this, but it's so cool. Anyone who's played Sigil knows about how these eyes have become shootable switches, done by putting a trigger that needs to be shot right behind them. But there's also these skull triangle things that mark where ground teleporters are, and these white pentagram textures that used to be used for teleporters now mark switches on the ground to walk over. Fire Blue, aka the bitrate destroyer, is now used as upright portals in a couple of levels, including the final stage, which you have to see to move on. Yes, I do admit, when I first played Sigil, I thought that these changes were a little bit jarring. It also didn't help that before playing it, I played through Doom's episodes 1 through 4 before jumping into Sigil, which kind of threw me for a loop. I wasn't really good at Doom back then, as some of you know from my videos. But in my second playthroughs, especially now, I'm able to look back at these changes way more fondly. There's a lot of consistency behind them. They follow their own rules that they have established, and you can't change my mind that I think that this is just fucking cool. And to really sell you on this, we're gonna need to boot up this bad boy from the beginning. Rather, episode 5, map 1. Alright, Baphomet's Domain. Do you think that's a heretic reference? That game's 5th episode was called Stagnant Domain, and this is the 5th episode of Doom. I don't know, was John Romero a fan of heretic? Probably not. Get used to words that you have no idea how to pronounce at first sight, because Romero loves that shit, especially if it has biblical undertones. Sigil starts you off throwing you into a room with a shotgun and some imps, and more angles in its geometry than the entirety of Knee Deep in the Dead. If Romero's goal was to make a good first impression, then god damn it did he accomplish it. And if for whatever reason you ran out of ammo taking out those Pinky's inspectors, which is gonna happen eventually at some point for you, these eye triggers that you're supposed to shoot to progress do give you bullets right next to them, so as long as you don't happen to scoot right up against that wall, you still have an out here. I can't speak for Sigil 2, but if you see one of these eye triggers, shoot it. There's really no reason not to, even if it's optional. Like this one. Optional is a strong word, I really need that soul sphere. Oh, and also this rad suit, so I can... Oh damn, you see all that cool little scenery over there? I wish I could really appreciate it, but the green tint of the red suit is ruining everything. Red suit, rad suit, same thing. Ow, ow, ow. Oh yeah, I'm also doing this without mid-level saves. I probably should have said that earlier. It's only like 9 levels, I said, thinking that it would be over really quickly. It still was, but my total playtime was drastically inflated. Sure are a lot of imps down here in the lava that I wouldn't be able to kill if I didn't have this rad suit. Sure, there's an elevator to raise some of them up out of the floor, but not all of them. It just makes more sense to take them all out on lava. I'm going for all kills and all secrets. By now, you've probably realized that Sigil, at least on Ultraviolence, is gonna starve you of your resources, so don't be afraid to slap some pinkies around with your bare fist without a berserk sometimes. Or engage in my personal favorite Doom pastime, a little bit of infighting. Sometimes you just gotta walk right into the domain and start a bar fight, you know what I'm saying? Hey Baphomet, hope you're doing well. Sheol loads you up with a Berserk Pack and a Soul Sphere right at the beginning for an easy 200 HP to head into the level with, which is great because we've got a Cyber Demon in this one, and if you're not confident to take it out yet, you could grab this blue armor just outside of the starting area. The Cyber Demon isn't that scary, we could just telefrag it later on and ignore him for now and try to use him to take out all the enemies nearby. Or not. Fist can't fly into the air like that, so I gotta end this fist parade early. Alright, now we just gotta... Oh my god, why did I back up? I had perfect cover. Wait, did I get him? This is a lot harder than I remember it being. Just gotta position him just right. I feel fucking humiliated after this. I've never had that hard of a time with the Cyber Demon. Hey, you know how hit scanners are usually pretty easy to pick off as long as you're in these tight, compact hallways? Damn it, John! Actually, that wasn't too bad. Paddock's lo-fi beats to pummel demons to really helps with this one. Alright, it's not lo-fi, I just wanted to make the joke, I know. But the music is kind of mellow, but really works. Every classic Doom soundtrack, all 3 of them, usually have their fair share of pretty calm and mellow tracks in them, so this is just, you know, obligated, but very good. Damned Cages has us moving over a lot of boiling hot lava with only a couple of rad suits to cover our asses, so it's not like the tension isn't there, but somehow the music stays fitting. If you check the wiki page for this level, it only says that there's 1 rad suit in this map, and maybe I'm just not reading it right, but there's actually 2. One here at the beginning by this Kako demon, and another in a secret next to a Berserk Pack. But don't do anything yet, we got another secret within a secret sort of deal over here. Shoot that eye trigger to open up a path to the blood below for a Mega Sphere, guaranteeing 200 health, assuming that you grab the Berserk Pack right before it. But here, we get a backpack, fucking finally. Sigil may starve you of your resources, something I've already said, but I've actually been overcompensating a little bit too much, because I'm near maxing out my shotgun ammo. That sure would have made this Baron a lot easier. I'm still gonna use them to infight with these Kako demons, though. Sure beats using these imps in these cages. Oh, now I get it. Thank you for your service, sir. Political commentary. We still have 1 more Baron to go, and I'm also still gonna shotgun him to death because even though we have a rocket launcher at this point, I'm gonna hold on to some of my ammo. What do you think this is, Plutonia? Rockets don't grow on Kasali trees out here. This is Romero's wretched domain. Oh wow, cool, a chainsaw halfway into the episode. That would have been nice earlier. Romero probably agrees. He also probably knows that you want to slap yourself once map 4 gives you a rocket launcher at the beginning here, right after it gave you one through that secret at the end of Damning Cages. Hey, I won't look a gift Romero in the mouth. I'm just happy to have more rockets. Never mind, sorry fellas, show's cancelled. Travis Guy is recovering from a tragic crusher incident. No, it wasn't his balls like in the Half-Life Decay video. Shut up! Regardless, I probably should have worn protection. Oh, this is so much worse, just please let me die. Paths of Wretchedness is one of those levels that always comes to mind whenever Sigil is brought up in a conversation, especially with this room. All the crushers marked by these sharp angles with bright red lines on the floors, it's doing a great job at telling you what you need to do and what you need to look out for. The safe areas are always slightly depressed into the floor, making it safe for you to run over there, knowing where you need to run. It's punishing, but a moment that I always remember fondly. It reminds me of Quake 1 in a weird way, and maybe that's why I feel like there should be a good spot for a secret, even though there's not. Normally, I'd try to avoid green armor pickups like the plague until I could find a blue one, but Sigil's got me so desperate that I'll take anything right now. No! On top of the Crusher segment, E5M4 is one of those maps that every Doom-like needs to have at least one of. Is it fair to call Sigil a Doom-like? It is Doom itself. Point is, this is one of those maps where you're given multiple choices of where you want to go, each giving you one of the colored key cards that you gotta take back to this big set piece near the end of the level. Proteus has a really good example of one of these, and I really hope the DLC does too. The yellow key path has this super long door that's meant to keep you from just running past all the monsters to get it open, which sure was great in my first playthrough where I waited to interact with it until everything nearby is dead and I just kind of had to sit there awkwardly. This is also where I think Sigil goes from intelligently dickish to still intelligently dickish, but genuinely difficult. You know, that Kako was totally right. We should have totally just let them infight. Cool. Alright, we'd be done here if I didn't miss a couple of enemies, and of course it's just a freaking shotgunner. I'm playing on GZ Doom, so the Lost Souls also count. Normally they wouldn't. Abaddon? Abaddon? Abaddon's Void. Alright. It's that one Archangel that really likes pits. That's probably why it's the Void. You know, a level's good when it breaks out those Batman Forever SNES bell sample sounds. Yes, I am saying that as if that one game invented it. Bite me. Actually, this track is really good, especially the drums. Every time you hear the drums kick in, it sounds like the drummer is just always on edge, ready to break out into a full solo at any minute, but just stops right before. And as a former drummer myself, I can totally relate. This is another level that comes to mind whenever Sigil is mentioned in Doom discussions, though this one's a little bit less artsy and a lot more large. I got stuck in this level for nearly an hour when I first played Sigil all those years ago. I was even playing with enhanced lighting to help me navigate more, which, yeah, I really don't blame any of you for turning off vanilla lighting if you're playing this in the source port. I'm just committing because I hate myself, not because this level's bad. I'm just weird. Hello, sir, can I take this, please? This room with the Berserk pack also filtered me a lot way back when, but I don't know, it just doesn't hit the same these days. Remember when I had a hard time beating Doom 1 on Hurt Me Plenty? Yeah, I try not to remember that either. Holy shit, I just saw my light flash before my eyes. I should have reviewed Plutonia way sooner, fuck! Oh shit, I'm so sorry. Oh my gosh, I can't believe that happened again. I'll be sure to tell your dad, maybe. Here, how about I pay tribute to you by punching this Baron out? Nope, abort the fisting, this is too much, I can't do it! Son of a bitch, that was the last enemy too. That almost ended poorly. Unspeakable Persecution? Oh, you mean like... Alright, that's fair. is so dark that specters are practically invisible if you're using Doom's vanilla rendering, which is kinda neat. I can't remember the last time I was playing a vanilla Doom experience and actually got jump scared by some pinkies. Nope, definitely can't remember the last time that was. Like the rocket launcher for the first half of Sigil, energy cells are gonna be in short supply, usually dropped in these secrets, so that plasma rifle you picked up at the beginning of the stage isn't gonna get much use here if you're like me. Until I start capping out on my ammo, I usually just save it for the BFG, cause Romero was, with all due respect, bitch enough to give us one of those in Sigil. We actually get one about 30 seconds later. I don't take back what I said, but I'm happy to have it. Wow, Trav, isn't it tedious to open up each of these red key pillars individually? You could just go through. Oh, you fucking bet it is, but we need this to kill the cyber demon. Well, need is kind of a strong word. Does that thing that Doom 2's map 17 did. That thing where you walk down into a hallway and then it opens up another hallway and then parts of that hallway open up when you walk into the other one and then you go back and forth. Except this one's a lot harder even though there's no chain gunners. Making it to the end unlocks the main room of the stage, a giant hall with multiple levels and pathways to walk above, but you technically walk over them so that we're not breaking Doom's rule of sectors over sectors. It's really impressive. That was worth it, I promise. The path to that invulnerability doesn't open unless you open all those red pillars earlier. It was one of those things that you invest your time into rather than money. Doom guy can't afford ETFs. Okay, let's wrap this up. So finally, after spending forever trying to find the last enemy hiding in this stage, I kill the last Kako demon and then head over to exit. Did you know that Sigil had a secret level? Cause I sure didn't the first time I played it. It's fine, short and sweet. It's got some hefty monster closets that make it really feel worthy of being a secret level. Should I be surprised that we've got another really good music track here? No, but I still am. It starts with some bitchin' percussion, gets a bit mellow for a bit before it hits us with a piece that reminds me painfully of Deus Ex for some reason. And then it goes off into probably my favorite riff in this entire soundtrack, and it's been stuck in my head ever since I started this project. Anyways, this is the realm of Iblis, you know, that one guy from that Sonic game that Twitter says is good now for some reason. Oh, hold on, I'm getting word that Iblis is actually a figure from Abrahamic religion. What does the guy on the corner have to do with this? There's a supercharge in the secret down here that I wanted to save for later, but Romero didn't want me to breathe, so I had to snag that shit early. Not that it really matters. Map 7 gives us a supercharge in the first room, just like half of the levels in this episode. You should still grab it for the cyber demon, though. Oh, I don't like this. That's okay, he can't really leave that square that he spawns. Oh, he can leave it. That could have gone worse. Not really much to say here. We don't get anything early, but it is nice to stock up on some plasma cells. Definitely gonna be abusing that later. Nightmare Underworld, the first map that was designed for Sigil, originally intended to be its 5th map, which terrifies me to think of what kind of horrors we would have seen originally planned for that late game. Bad Dream Heck does this really cool thing with its environment where parts of this mountainside are chipped out and underneath are just flesh and bones. That's the kind of things I like to see in an FPS take on hell, especially Doom. Like the Seraphim used to say, a little bit of wall meat a day keeps the demons away. He totally said that. Alright, something's up. This level isn't too bad so far. I should have known. Hello, 911, there's a man outside my house and he is caked the fuck up. There is an invulnerability nearby, but I just felt like I needed to shotgun a motherfucker, you know what I mean? I'll use it if I die, which I did. Alright, that was not good for my mental health. Hey, now check that out. Not only is there a portal to hell in the basement, but also in the ceiling. Now that's progress, my friends. That must be how they got all those tenants for that monster condo up there. How many of you guys are there? Hall of Perdition, the latter a word for being damned for all of eternity, just in case all the pentagrams didn't give it away for you. I hope you learned a new word today. I'm gonna need to remember that one. It's real easy to get lost in these damned halls, at least for me. I always forget which one of these buildings has the staircase that I need to find, and I just kind of ended up turning right until I find it. In retrospect, I probably should have used my map. It's not really that long of a level, and honestly, it's not even the hardest one here, but I still got filtered for nearly a half hour. There's not really much I could say till we get to the final showdown with both a mastermind and a cyber demon, something that's totally never been done before. Normally I try to coax them into infighting, but Mama didn't want to cooperate, so... Yeah, that's fair. Fuck. A lot of my repeat playthroughs with this stage made me really appreciate the art direction here going on with these flashing lights in the background. I realized that they're not just there to look cool and be menacing, but also be a way to see the enemies in these dang halls. Yeah, the low lighting here really sucks, but it's deliberate, and seeing these enemies almost exclusively through silhouettes is challenging in a way that felt new for classic Doom. It's a simple trick, but works really well. Even in the final fight, both of the final bosses spawn directly between you and one of these larger red walls, letting you see their silhouettes. It's hard, but it's amazingly designed. Alright, that wasn't ideal, but it wasn't bad. Also, I lied, we're not done yet. There's a single zombie man tucked away in this final secret of the level, making this tiny guy the final kill for a 100% monsters run of Sigil. Very funny, 10 out of 10. To win the game, you must kill him. You've done it. Baphomet may have been doing Satan's bidding by bringing you back to hell, but they forgot that you're a goddamn badass. You've mopped the floor with your arsenal, but lock and load, Marine. We've got some advanced demons to take care of that were meant for the full invasion of Earth. Rip and tear, kids. Hey look, it's canon now, pre-2016 in this non-canon episode. Isn't that great? We're actually not done yet with old Baphomet, because next time on the channel we'll be making our way through Sigil 2, and Blind this time. I've only played the opening stage at the time of writing this video, because Civvy told me that there's a cyber demon in the first level, and that sounds like it'll be very fun. I can't wait to friggin' crush it. Hey, thanks for making it to the end of this video. I wanted to do something small for January since I was knocked out for most of December. After I finish Sigil 2, which should just be a week, hopefully, maybe 2, Plutonia will be my sole focus going forward, and I hope that you look forward to it. I want to thank our newly pledged golden guys since last time, DJ Cereal Sauce and Deep Sea. All golden guys get their names shouted out in the first video after they pledge, and then the platinum guys that you see up at the top left get their names shouted out in every video. Supporters like Starry Melody, Stressed Axis 862, Thickless Mage, SSG Meathook, and Shinespark. Thank you for your generous and continued support. And if you want to join the Discord and even get to see videos early, consider supporting me either here on YouTube or on Patreon. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you had a happy new year, and I'll see you guys soon.